Hey guys, the Section of Violence here. Man, we've had a crazy weekend. I'm gonna run through LFA and then the two BKFC cards in one video. I'm gonna capture the two Bellator cards in another video, and then I'm gonna capture the UFC one, which you all love to watch, in the last one. So this is gonna be the first of them. Let's start. So we had LFA 157 Croden versus Cavalcanti. Um, yeah, it was a kind of a weird card. I cashed most of my predictions. But let's just start off. So we had Santos for the fights I couldn't watch. I'm not going to comment on them. I'm just going to say what happened. So we had Verdinez in a few lays. Someone who I respect, his opinion came out and he was on Boss, so I did an arbitrage, which I could have not done in retrospect, but it is what it is. Um, yeah, so good win for Verdinez. He's legit or somewhat legit. It's going to be interesting to watch him rise. We had McPhee winning his fight. I should have just trusted him against a 2-5 guy. I just didn't know what to expect fighting a black belt. But yeah, moving on. We had Cliff Wright as our dog. What do you expect? 20 and 19 guy, now 20 and 20 or 12 and 20. So should have saw that coming. Even though Austin Judge is a dinosaur, it is what it is. Moving on. We had I actually the guy I respect was the main reason I put a little more on her. So thank you to that guy. Piccolo, thank you. Good performance by her. Lipper is a can. Um, Not a can, but not great. And Piccolo won in a submission. Good win for Piccolo. Same thing for Peria. Wasn't confident in him, but someone I respected was confident in him. He got the job done quite easily. Made Ellis look pretty bad. Yeah, good win for Peria. And this is the fight where I started watching. We had Amari Sangvina as our dog at the card. What do you know? He cashes, and he was looking good too with the grappling, the striking in the first round was looking great. Beautiful knockout. Really, really happy about that. Dog of the card cashes with ease. Gotta love it. Moving on, we had Marnik Man versus Amber Brown. It was a little bit of a sticky situation in that second round. I mean, in that first round, but I thought Marnik Man did her job. She made it gritty. She got her down, and when she did get her down, Amber Brown had nothing for her. Marnik Man, yeah, she can grapple, but other than that, she is a liability. Moving on. We had Aiden Correa versus Jesse Martinelli. He should have been the lock of the card the way Correa performed. Great performance, Correa. 30-27, dominant performance. Jesse Martinelli, you're one tough man for staying in there. Moving on, we had Keegan Jenrich versus Richie Miranda. Richie Miranda, he's going to be on a different list. He's going to be on a red flag list, not a fade list, because he's a good jiu-jitsu player. I just don't like guys who pull guard and are content with being on their back, and that's who Richie Miranda is. Unfortunately, he can strike a little bit, but man, in my opinion, it was a robbery. I thought Miranda won that clear as day, but judges are going to do what they're going to do. Yeah, let's look at how I did. Let's see. Yeah, so 9-2 on picks, plus 1 unit. Not bad actually. And then we had Arthur Estruzillas versus Bobby Lee. Everything was looking terrible for Estruzillas, getting beat up. And what do you know? He pulls off a Hail Mary submission triangle. That's all she wrote. Comeback for Estruzillas. Very good win. Happy about that. Moving on. If I was betting on Bobby Lee, I'd be a pretty mad man right now. Moving on, we had Cavalcanti. I never really got to watch this fight. I was too focused on BKFC. Great performance by Cavalcanti. Dominant performance. Yeah, really, really happy. She got the job done. Like I said, we cashed a unit on the card. But let's get into the fun stuff. The BKFC 38 cards. That card, man, was interesting, to say the least. But yeah, let's start it off. We had Chris Garcia versus Philip Ryan Carroll. Garcia was a lock, and I should have trusted my gut. Like these guys, man, like they have these like short buzz cut, like it's really, really, and they're about it. And they got all the tattoos, they got the fresh cuts, everything's looking clean. He's gonna fight clean, and that's exactly what he did. Chris Garcia, I had no tape on him, so I couldn't really judge, but I saw enough to be like, oh, I'm confident in this guy, and he delivered. So I'm really happy about that. But yeah, moving on, we had Freddie Masabo versus Bovar Konkov. Wow. So Freddie Masabo, I don't know what Cuban boxing national team he was on. He might be actually a good boxer, considering it's a little different than bare knuckle. But man, he wasn't looking good at all. His jab wasn't looking good. He was sharp and fast, but like he was getting backed up easily. He was getting pieced up. Bonvar was the one really dictating the fight. Really unfortunate. I thought Masaba was going to be something. He's not. Goat Shed let me down. Once again, it is what it is. Bovar, I'm going to take him a little more seriously moving on. In the future. But yeah, moving on, we had Howard Davis taking on Trevor Morris. This was a bit of a sketchy fight. Trevor Morris' fight had to get called due to a cut, I believe. So good performance by Howard Davis, another win in the book. He's got a few holes to fix, but I feel like he'll fix them in time, and if not, we'll just fade him if the matchup makes sense. Moving on, we had Rene Rodriguez versus Mark Johnson. What a lock that I missed. I thought Rene Rodriguez was gonna gas out after throwing all those death punches, but turns out he can keep that pace. And yeah, Mark Johnson was just a sacrificial lamb. And that was on me. My bad, guys. Moving on, I should have put more on Rodriguez. Moving on, we had Townsell versus Cerro. Townsell was a side. I knew it all week. I just didn't put enough emphasis in it. Great win for Townsell. It wasn't even close. Yeah, great win for Townsell. I'm excited to see who they pair him up with next. He's fun to watch. Moving on, we had G Perez versus Joshua Ritchie, one of the easiest picks in the card. G Perez did what he does. Sharp, quick, got the job done. Gotta love it. Moving on, this was probably the sweatiest fight of the card. This was what dictated my profitable day, and I was really stressed, very, very stressed. I had Justin Sanchez, and I honestly didn't know if he was going to get it or not. Aguilar made it so close, I didn't know. But the judges saw it how I saw it, and that Justin Sanchez was landing the better shots and more effective shots. Other than that last round, I thought he won that fight quite clearly. So yeah, good win for Justin Sanchez. Cashes our max play. Definitely gonna take that in a note for when Mexicans are fighting, because man, they're tough, man. Speaking of someone who's not tough, so we had Francesca. I'm gonna call him now, Richie. Yeah, obviously he's a savage. He gets in there. He's a savage warrior. Great, obviously. But I honestly believe his chin is thinner than this piece of paper. Honestly, I truly believe that. Um, Eric Lanzalo was a sacrificial lamb being sent in for the slaughter. Looking at his record, 14 and 21. And he has 5 losses by KO, 8 losses by submission. I could have taken that into a little more consideration, but I didn't, and I paid for it. Especially when he took Lorenzo Hunt to 3 rounds in bare knuckle. I should have saw that, but no, my dumbass saw this guy looks like an out of shape father. Richie should be able to box him up, and I was wrong. So it is what it is. Richie is on the fade list. It is what it is. Moving on. Imagine if Mike Perry got his hands on this guy. Oh, this guy would be mincemeat. Moving on. We had Chance Wilson taking on Tyler Randall. Tyler, you follow me on Instagram. I gotta respect that. But man, I can't ride with you after that one performance where you got TKO'd by Caprio. I know Caprio is a little better than you, but still, like, that's on me, and I wasn't gonna make that mistake again. And Chance, you proved what I originally thought, that Randall isn't that great. And yeah, not much else I could say about that. Easy plus +0.2 units. Not much to celebrate, but not much to complain about either. Moving on, we had Jay Boswick versus Isaac Doolittle. Yeah, so it was a war. I didn't get to watch too much of it because again, I was flipping through fights. It was LFA, 1FC. There was a lot of fights on last night, so I had to manage my time. But yeah, Jake Boswick. Uh, he's got to work. He gets dropped, but like he's been getting better at fighting that resolve and toughness. I like Boswick. I think he's an awesome fighter to watch fight. Yeah, it was a great fight for both of them. They both should be proud. Moving on, we had Dat Nguyen versus Daniel Strauss. Strauss was looking sharp early on. I was getting worried. Dat was getting slow. He was hitting the groin. He wasn't doing what I thought he was gonna do. And then started four around five. Dat started turning it up, and that's when I saw, yeah, this is why I picked him in the first place. His pressure, his pace, his body work. Um, he's just a bare knuckle boxer. That's what he does. And Strauss has never done bare knuckle boxing. I was like, this is an easy win for Nguyen, but he made it a lot harder than he should have. But it is what it is. Strauss is a veteran, so credit to Nguyen for the win. Um, yeah, not much else I could say about that. It's a really good card though. Let me recap how I did on that card. 8, 2, and 1. Plus 8 units, 6 unit swing on Richie. Can't complain about that, guys. Pretty good if I say so myself. Um, did I? I had the. Yeah, I think I did. Yeah, I did. Okay, yeah, and let's get into the BKOC. 40 card, and then let's end it there. And then we gotta cover the Bellator cards and the UFC cards. I'm gonna be a busy man tonight. So we got Anthony Holmes versus. Sorry, way too quickly. I'm gonna make this one quick because you guys don't care about random UK boxers. So yeah, Aaron Blanky versus Naf Hickson. Aaron Blanky, we cashed that quite easily. Naf Hickson was a sacrificial lamb. Should have saw that coming. This really bothered me. The betting lines had Rob Cunningham fighting his previous opponent, and unfortunately, the you know the bookies didn't update it. I thought Rob Cunningham was a dog going against this guy. Turns out it was his old opponent. We don't get the cash. It is what it is. Pretty unfortunate, but it is what it is. Yeah. Moving on. This is another fight. Again, I don't even think it happened. Radwa versus Benny. I'm pretty sure Starkey fought Radwa, so Starkey with the win. Good win for Starkey. Again, this card was AIDS as far as like switcheroos, and I caught two of them, but I missed one. Let's go on to the most disappointing part of the card. So we had Robbie Kennedy versus Connor Cook. That was an absolute pitiful performance by Robbie Kennedy. I just couldn't believe what I was watching. The angles he was trying to throw punches at, I was like, do you honestly think these are punches that are going to land? Like honestly, it was hard to watch. He got finished. It was about time. You can't be having you can't carry yourself like that and expect not to get knocked out. It is what it is. Bad pick on my part. Moving on. Johnny Graham versus Will Cairns, easy as can be. Johnny Graham beating the can of the cans. So not much to take from that. Moving on, we had Lee Brown versus Tony Estorer. That was really disappointing. Lee Brown, yeah, he's not much of a he's not much of a nail. He's a hammer. He's not much of a nail. That's all I can really say about Lee Brown. Moving on, we had Tom Scott versus Damian Gorski. Gorski was a punching bag in this spot. Scott was piecing him up with that jab, those combos. It was just too much. Tom Scott with the win, easy win, lock, one of the locks of the card, easy, easy, easy. Moving on, we had Luke Nevin taking on Franco Tangalia. I thought Franco wasn't as legit. Turns out I was wrong. He is legit, and Luke Nevin isn't. Or Nevin is legit, just not as good. Yeah, great win for Franco. Definitely going to be taking him more seriously in the future. Yeah, good win. Moving on, our lock of the card. Rico Franco cashes with ease after dropping him a total of 6 times. It was an easy win, and yeah, he made the card profitable for us. So thank you for that. But yeah, moving on. We had our main event. We had Holmes versus Christie. We lose that. I thought Holmes was gonna win that. Christie's a dog, dangerous animal, and I should have trusted him more. Great win for Christie. Yeah, excited to see who they pair him up with next. He's all action, so. But yeah, plus 1.795 units on the card, and then we did 5 and 4 on picks. So not great on picks, not great at all. But it is what it is, guys. I'm probably gonna post all these Sunday. It's like 2 a.m. right now, so it's gonna take me a little bit. I might post one, but I'm gonna wait to post the rest of them. It's just a lot of posting. I haven't even ate dinner yet, and we're at 2 a.m. So it is what it is. But this meal is gonna be amazing. I'm gonna really enjoy this meal. All right, guys. Until next time, be cashed. Over 10 units between the three cards. You know, you gotta love it. Anyways, guys, until next time, I'll see you later.